Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weischadle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weischadle. Doug, baseball is finally here. I'm sure it's not the start of the season that the Mets or Nationals fans would like, but it's back. Baseball's back.
They're fans. Hell, I don't think either team wanted that.
Oh, no, of course not.
So,
terrible stuff. But,
well, again, I think Major League Baseball showed that they can handle COVID diagnoses last year with this, and they'll probably roll with it. The one thing that probably will be interesting to watch as this season goes along are the futures when you're betting on them, because the more games they do double headers, and that's going to affect the win totals. That's going to affect the standings a lot more than what people are probably anticipating, because if they have more double headers at the beginning of the season before the All-Star versus the end of the season, you may see a lot of shifting odds, and there's going to be more value on certain teams as you go along here.
What I forgot about completely was the extra innings rules. I mean, at opening day, I saw the Yankees and I saw the Phillies, both games. They went to extra innings, and I forgot that you start extra innings with a guy on second base. So, it's a good reminder of what were put in place last year. So.
Well, maybe I'm in the minority with this. I like that extra runner on second.
Well, it worked out for the Phillies. It didn't work out for the Yankees. It's the guy who made the last
out of the previous inning.
Sure,
but I actually like the fact that you put a guy on second. It's a little different. Speeds up the first half of that inning.
Sure.
And I think one of the announcers, I think it was the Phillies game, mentioned you can face two batters and get 3 outs.
Yeah, a very odd thing there. I never thought of it like that. I never did the math like that announcer did, but no, you made a good point.
And it was actually fun to watch the extra runner, so I hope they stay with it.
Well, we got a great show coming up for you. We have a By the Numbers segment later on in the show. We have a Turnpike Sports Book Report where we talk about what's going on in the sports books across the country. And I have a very interesting interview all about the state of Michigan. Yes, that's right. We're going to hear all about Michigan and its growing gambling scene, because I'm going to talk with Executive Director of the Michigan Gaming Control Board, Richard Kalm. Very interesting guy.
It's a state that just recently launched online gaming and online poker, as well as online sports betting, but it's a quick-growing, very fast-growing market.
When you talk gambling expansion, you're talking Michigan.
Yeah.
Because, wow, has it blown up. It's been a busy week in sports, so let's take a trip down the Turnpike. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to Drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with Drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
Every week we seem to be talking about these sports betting operator, fantasy sports operator media deals.
There was lots of them this week.
Yeah, there was a lot of them.
A lot of them this week.
The big one we're going to hit right now, well, actually, there was two of them. One really big, one kind of really interesting in terms of what it means for a network, especially in the New York area. First up, we have DraftKings acquiring VSiN, Vegas Sports and Information Network. I actually think this is kind of an interesting move in terms of what this means for both of these companies moving forward. I think this is more of a content deal than sports betting. I mean, it's a sports betting deal and a fantasy sports deal, but I think this is more about the content than it is about sports betting itself.
Well, look, I knew there was a relationship living on the East Coast and watching, I guess it's called primetime action. I may be wrong with the title of that, but it's at the end of the day, it's on MSN, and what they do is... MSG, what did I say?
MSN. Microsoft Network?
Yeah. It's on.
That'll be next, probably.
They're on MSG, and it's more it's prime time in the New York area. And what they really do is almost in-play betting, almost, because they start at 7 o'clock and they go right till 10, and they're commenting on the games that are happening right now. And DraftKings is a sponsor, and they use the DraftKings lines, so there was some kind of connection with them.
You got to remember, Follow the Money, or the Michael Lombardi show has BetMGM.
Sure.
So I don't think some of these sponsorship deals are going to change.
Well, that's what I was putting together. I mean, that's.
I don't think that's going to change
Sure.
too much. Especially, I don't think they want to take it out of Borgata, to be honest with you.
Gil Alexander's on it. I was trying to think of his name. Gil Alexander is one of the hosts.
But DraftKings is going to be integrating the VSiN staff into their employee workforce.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, they're going to be housed in the Vegas office that DraftKings has.
Mm-hmm.
DraftKings is not legal in Vegas or Nevada yet for sports betting, but they've got 14 states. And again, both sides were saying how complimentary this is going to be for what they're trying to do. DraftKings wants the content that VSiN's able to produce, and VSiN wants the promotion that DraftKings is always able to do for what's going on their side of things. And I think it's really a complementary situation where it's a more rounded broadcast network, I think, now.
Well, look, like I said, there's already an existing relationship between DraftKings and VSiN. Just from me watching their televised New York-based show, I shouldn't say New York-based, but it's geared toward the New York bettors market.
Well, that goes into
like I said, it's together.
That goes into the other half of this exit, which is Madison Square Garden Entertainment is now buying Madison Square Garden Networks.
Okay.
Now, for everyone who doesn't really follow MSG, there are really multiple different components here. At Madison Square Entertainment are the live events. Madison Square Garden Networks is the stuff you see on TV.
Well, if you're from different states or different regions of the country, Madison Square Garden is where the Knicks play, and that's where they're televised.
You're talking the physical.
Well, and that's where they're televised. Yes. Madison Square Garden Network or television program.
But that's different than Madison Square Garden.
I understand
that's different than Madison Square Garden Entertainment.
I'm just trying to explain it to people listening in other states.
That's even different than Madison Square Garden Sports. Mm-hmm. Which is the holding company that owns the Knicks, the Rangers, minor league teams, eSports teams. But what this deal is doing, the Madison Square Garden Entertainment, Madison Square Garden Networks deal, it's trying to smooth out the process of getting sports betting offerings out to their viewership, their attendees, anyone that goes to a Madison Square Garden Entertainment's event and also watches MSG networks, you're going to start seeing more and more fluid combinations of sports betting products being offered to their customers.
Even more, huh?
Even more.
There was a lot to begin with. But,
well, there's some issues with regards to getting the sports betting, the gambling side of the Madison Square Garden networks onto the entertainment side. The actual live event.
Well, look, all this is going to explode because when New York gets mobile sports betting, I'm saying when, I'm not saying if, when they're going to get it, all this is going to really explode in the New York area. Because right now, look, if you want to place a bet and you live in the New York metropolitan area, guess what? You're coming over to Jersey. Either you're doing an app in Jersey or you're going over, probably the closest one is the Meadowlands Sportsbook right there, which everyone from there is from New York.
Well, think about it. Even with the Yankee broadcast yesterday, every sportsbook ad had a New Jersey thing on it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. You'll see that. I wonder if if those are covered by ESPN. Other people around the country see those things, or are they green screened behind the?
They're
batters?
green screens.
They're green
screens
okay.
Because I think the Yankees game was also on ESPN.
Was it? Okay.
And I think they had different ads going.
Okay, yeah, I watched the Yankees on their opening day on Yes Network,
where
I see most of their games.
ESPN does not take the Yes Network feed.
Okay.
So, it's, again, and again, I think with ESPN having to deal with William Hill, Caesars, for their odds and sports books, I think that would probably go against that kind of deal. So the green screens come in handy for these different sports betting deals with these networks, too.
Exit 2.
We got 2 new simulation games coming out pretty soon.
The only sim game I know is Sim City.
Well,
and I haven't even seen that in years.
One of these is very similar to Sim City.
Okay,
and might as well hit that one first. The Grand Casino Tycoon.
Ooh,
simulation game.
Do you build a casino?
Not only do you build a casino,
all right,
you actually have to lay it out so that it creates benefits for your customers. You also have to monitor your customers' needs in terms of hunger, thirst, what games they prefer playing. You also, because of this game, the depth of this game, which makes it different than a lot of the other simulators I've seen in terms of casinos and SimCity, you have to monitor cheating.
Wow.
I mean, this is
I got to tell you, and a lot of colleges and universities are now really getting into the the hotel management, the casino management, the sports betting business, and something like this would be a great tool for any business student who's interested in the casino business.
Well, you mentioned SimCity.
Yeah.
When SimCity was in its heyday, when it was really, really big and huge
when
and popular.
Was that? I don't even know when
80s.
That is. Oh, okay, the 80s. All right.
A lot of city planning classes utilized it.
Really? Well, they should be using this Grand Casino Tycoon thing for their business schools.
Well, this one is, if you want to learn how to build casinos the right way and then manage it, this is the game for you, because you're going to be able to build it the way you want to build it. You're going to be able to lay out the slot machines, the table games, the restaurants. Your restaurants,
which, by the way, is an art form. I've talked to a lot of casino executives, and they put a lot of thought into that and a lot of research into it. So, this might be a really great game for, I shouldn't call it a game. It should be a really great tool for business students.
It's a great simulator. It's a realistic simulator.
Yeah.
And, again, your restaurants can earn Michelin stars in this.
Great.
You have to set it up in such a way that not only do you cater to the VIPs of the casino that come in during the game, but also to the regular customers. So you got to set up your restaurants, your bars, your band areas that would actually make the most sense for not only just one segment of your customers, but for the entire casino patrons that come in.
I'm assuming to get this, you need to download it, right? You don't go out to a store and buy a
This will be
cartridge
only online.
Only online, okay.
It's on the Steam platform, which is
Steam.
It's another
right.
online platform. A lot of the online games use it.
All right, yeah.
You'll be able to access it from your PC, your phone.
I'd like to check it out.
I think it's going to be interesting. This will be out May 20th.
All right, I got to mark my calendar for May 20th.
The other simulation game coming out is a golf game. EA Sports is going to be working on releasing what they're terming a next-gen golf game using the Frostbite engine, which is what's used for a lot of other EA Sports like Madden, and as well as some other battle games too. So a very realistic, high-speed engine to be able to generate probably the most realistic, the most immersive golf game on the market is what they're trying to do.
The only golf game I ever tried was a Golden Tee. I mean, it didn't have a joystick. It had a ball that you had
Well, you
to
just insulted everything EA is doing with this game, yes.
Do they have a Golden Tee? No?
No Golden Tee. But they're going to be incorporating the most iconic PGA Tour courses and tournaments, like the FedEx Cup is going to be part of it. They're going to have the career mode. They're going to have simulations of other pro golfers to play against in these different tournaments. They're claiming this is going to be the most immersive, most dynamic gameplay involved in a EA Sports game, number one, and overall in terms of sports simulation games.
So no white roller ball to help you with your putting and your driving, right?
If you have the ability to put a white roller ball onto your gaming system at home, I'm sure you're going to be able to play it. I gotta go that, but.
Now I want to go play Golden Tee now.
Exit 3.
Okay, we're going to be talking a little bit more trademarks here.
More trademarks.
Yeah, every week we seem to come up with some sort of sports trademark thing that we've been
There's a lot of trademarks in the news.
Well, we actually talked about this
a lot of
previously.
people battling.
We have talked about this one we're going to be talking about previously, about a year ago, as a matter of fact. Anheuser-Busch had filed a trademark application for Bud Light to be the official beer of eSports.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
We had talked about it.
Okay.
It seems to have hit a snag. And I shouldn't say it just recently seemed to hit a snag. It's been hitting a snag ever since they filed it. This has been.
Well, what's the issue? There's people challenging them
one
as
challenger.
the official? Okay,
one challenger.
Who's the one challenger?
Well, well, actually two challengers if you want to consider the trademark office the first challenger, because when they filed it back in the end of 2019, Anheuser-Busch, when they filed the application back at the end of 2019, 2020, the trademark office came back and said you can't do it because it's going to cause confusion. There's a likelihood of confusion with this other mark that's already registered by a company called Sports Breweries. They have on file the mark, the official beer of sports.
Okay.
Now, this went through 3 or 4 different office actions to make it all the way through to a final resolution with the trademark office. What happens with a trademark? Let me take a step back here. When you file an application, if there's a problem with the mark that you're trying to register as a trademark, the trademark office issues what are known as office actions, telling you whether it can be registered, whether it can't be registered, whether there are deficiencies in the actual application itself. And in this case, it came back twice with a likelihood of confusion, rejection / refusal to register by the trademark office because of the official beer of sports by this company called Sports Breweries. They're out of Texas, by the way.
Okay.
And if you go to their website, sportsbreweries.com. Very interesting website. It's a small batch brewery, I guess a craft brewery you want to call it, or whatever you want.
Small batch brewery? No, I think it's called craft.
It's small batch bourbon. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused, but it's a craft brewery that bottles everything from. It has the official beer of sports on their website, trademarked, but they make different beers for the official hockey beer.
Okay.
The official baseball beer. That's the name of the beers. The official soccer beer. That's what's on their labels.
All right.
With an image of the sport that they're talking about. So they have all this, and trademark office said, no, you can't do it because of these guys. You can't do. Anheuser-Busch wasn't going to be able to get the trademark for this.
Okay.
For the official beer of eSports, because it's too close to official beer of sports. Anheuser-Busch filed an appeal from the final refusal. And the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board heard their arguments. Basically, they did the exact same arguments over and over again that the Trademark Office, the examining attorney of the Trademark Office said no. The Trademark Trial and Appeal Board went the other way.
Really?
And said...
You rarely see that.
Esports is different than sports, and there are so many other official beer of whatever out there. They had tons of different examples of how weak this mark actually was in the marketplace. And the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board said, okay, it can register. So it got to the publication stage, and Sports Breweries filed an opposition. They just filed it at the end of March here.
Okay.
So this is approaching almost 3 years now
this is
for Anheuser-Busch to get this mark.
Long and drawn out kind of thing, huh?
It's actually going to be fun to watch. Again, I have to kind of agree with the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board. I think these are two different things. I don't think the people that see the esports thing are going to confuse this guy's beer with Anheuser-Busch. But, again, it all depends on the arguments. And it's going to be fun to watch what's filed in terms of responses and answers. And you could follow along. It's public record over on the Trademark Office website, too. So, good luck to Anheuser-Busch. Like I said, they want to be the official beer of esports for Bud Light. And we'll see what happens.
Exit 4.
And last but not least this week, DraftKings is in the news again, not just for buying VSiN. They have done a deal with the WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. I almost said WWF there.
How are they going to work this out? Because I'm going to be I know there's a lot of wrestling fans out there, but let me just say that isn't most of wrestling predetermined? How can...
Wow, that was a very diplomatic way of saying that.
How was that? I didn't...
You mean it's scripted?
I don't...
Most of it's scripted, yes.
Yeah, okay, it's scripted. Well, how do you involve gaming with something that has a predetermined ending?
Well, that's why this deal focuses mainly on the free-to-play betting pools.
So this is more free-to-play and more,
There's no fantasy, there's no...
More of a content. No real money.
No money, free to play.
Okay.
No money put down.
That's what free to play means.
Yes.
No money. Okay.
Well, hey, you never know with some of these things. They always have hidden costs somewhere and all that stuff.
Well, it's good that it's free to play, and and it's for entertainment purposes only.
And again, it's still got to be approved in certain jurisdictions before they can actually launch it. They are planning to launch it for WrestleMania, which is on April 10th and 11th coming up. So it'll be fun to see exactly how the wrestling angle works into some of these betting pools. I know they do it, DraftKings and some of the other sports books do it for those reality shows like The Masked Singer, Masked Dancer, or whatever they call those things. And they're kind of, I don't want to say rigged, but it's almost along these same lines.
You know what I was thinking of? Last week I saw, big fan of Svengoolie, and he's a horror host. And there was a movie called The Beast Must Die, where this wealthy guy invites a bunch of people to his estate, and he's going to hunt the person who's the werewolf. And they had a werewolf break, and then you had to choose which person you thought was the werewolf,
which dictated the movie.
At the end of the movie you'll find out. I mean, are we going to have betting like that now? Stuff like that?
That's exactly what we're talking about here.
Is this what we're talking about?
That's what we're talking about.
There's going to be a werewolf break in the middle of WWE.
There's going to be an Undertaker break or whatever the wrestler is.
So there's going to be a break. You would do your pick on what wrestler wins?
Again, I think they're trying to figure out how to incorporate it, but you're going to start seeing DraftKings logos everywhere. They're going to be incorporated into the broadcast somehow. I'm assuming you're going to have... what do you call that? What's that thing that you see on football now with Fox Bet? The Super Six?
I have no idea.
They do stuff like that for, choose an answer or something like that.
They're
going to have stuff like that.
I like my werewolf break analogy better.
Well, yeah. Nothing can beat a good werewolf break.
Analogy.
But again, this is the first time DraftKings has done a deal like this in terms of a non-sport. I mean, they just did the UFC
a non-sport.
Thing.
Okay,
I can't call it a sport.
They're very athletic people.
They're athletes. I'll give them that.
They're very they're athletes.
I can't consider wrestling
with a predetermined ending.
Okay, I can't consider this type of wrestling a sport. Olympic wrestling is a sport.
That kind of wrestling is a sport.
I don't know what you would call this. I mean, when they have SAG cards, you got to wonder about it. But again, and last little thing I'll say about this. When this deal was announced, shares of DraftKings fell more than 8%.
Fell.
And WWE shares rose 2%.
Interesting. That's weird.
So it's one of those.
Was there a connection? Is that people drawing a connection with that, or?
I think it's one of those things where it's a stock market thing where
I guess
it didn't fall that much, to be honest with you, considering what they've done in the past.
And today's Strip Down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. At Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Well, stick around. We've got a great show for you. Got to buy the numbers segment where Doug throws out a number, and I usually get it wrong, and we'll let the numbers do the talking. And we're also going to have a Turnpike Sports Book Report where we talk about what's going on in the sports books across the country. But after this, I'm talking Michigan gaming with the executive director of the Michigan Gaming Control Board. Richard Kalm is going to join us to talk about gambling in the Wolverine State. So stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here.
Use offer code SPICE404.
They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-297-9788. 800-297-9788.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. Many states have expanded their gambling offerings in the last couple of years, but no state has expanded quite like Michigan. Whether it be online casinos, online poker, or sports betting, Michigan has created an incredible gambling market in this country. And to tell us all about Michigan and its growing gambling scene, we have the executive director of the Michigan Gaming Control Board, Richard Kalm, to tell us all about it. Richard, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us. It's nice to see you guys are watching Michigan.
Oh, absolutely. And like many people, I've been following the news out of Michigan, and I think the growth has been incredible in the gambling industry. But for people who aren't too familiar with Michigan, let's start talking about the brick and mortar casinos. How many retail casinos do you have in the state of Michigan?
We have 24.
Wow.
Casinos and brick and mortar casinos. We have 3 commercial casinos that are in the city of Detroit, and they have about maybe a 75-mile market area. And then outstate, we have multiple tribal casinos across the state and the Upper Peninsula.
So all these casinos are located across the state. I mean, I told you before, I'm sitting here in New Jersey, and all our casinos are packed into an island on the southeastern coast of our state. I mean, but in Michigan, it's throughout the state.
That's correct. And the 3 commercial casinos are probably set up somewhat like New Jersey is, in one area, all within a mile or 2 of each other in downtown Detroit. The tribal casinos pretty much go where the tribal land is, right? So they have to have land taken into trust, and it has to be reservation land. And so you'll find them in northwest Upper Peninsula, West Michigan, Southwest Michigan, Northern Michigan. So they're really spread out all across the state.
I want to focus in on next sports betting, because that has been growing throughout this country, and Michigan has been making a lot of noise with regard to sports betting. It's been incredible in the news. Talk to me about the retail sports books in Michigan. I know there's a lot of major players in the Michigan sports betting market. Who are those players, and where are they located? I mean, are they mostly located in casinos? I know some states have casinos and in their racetracks. Where are the retail sports books located in Michigan?
Well, the only ones that can operate a retail sports book, we don't have off-track betting. We don't have sports books unless it's within one of the operators that are authorized. And under our law, we have 12 federally recognized tribes and 3 commercial casinos that are recognized by the state. And those are the only places in their casinos where we've licensed sports books. Now, we do not license the tribal sports book, and I would say probably 65 or 70% of the tribes have a retail sports book in one of their casinos. And some of these tribes have multiple casinos. But all three of the commercials have a sports book in their casinos in Detroit, a retail sports book.
Now, recently, Michigan allowed online and mobile sports betting. When did that go live in the state?
Oh, it went live on January 22nd of this year. And we lit up the three commercial casinos for both sports betting and online gaming. And I think it was 8 of the tribal casinos on day one for the same. And so the casinos, the operators, have partnered with a platform provider. For instance, Bay Mills, which is the northern Upper Peninsula tribe, partnered with DraftKings to utilize their platform. And so across the state, each of the casinos, each of the operators partnered with a platform.
Now, when it comes to the online sports books, who are the books that are live right now in Michigan?
Oh boy, that's the question. We've got DraftKings, FanDuel. We have Barstool Sports, BetMGM. There's a whole list of them. We have 12 currently operating, and they're all partnered with an operator. So as a platform, they're all partnered with an operator.
How has the response been from the public? I mean, a lot of times before anything goes live in a state makes like expectations and their revenue projections. I mean, have the numbers been what you expected with regard to online sports books? And, how has the response been from the public?
Well, there was a whole lot of hype for the retail sports betting opportunities. The law passed in December of 2019. By March, we had gone live with the 3 commercial casinos and their retail sports books. And then 4 days later, we all ran into the March COVID issues, and we had to shut those casinos down for an extended period of time. So there was a lot of hype leading up to it, a lot of advertising throughout the state, and a couple of the tribes were ready to go live with retail also. And then the whole thing stopped. So I think that kind of, in a way, created some more pent-up demand. People had a chance to bet for a few days, and then it went cold. And then when we opened the casinos, people were still able to bet at the retail sports books. However, we hadn't gone online yet. So, Michigan, Detroit, we've got 5 professional teams, 4 professional teams that operate here. We've got very robust Division I football, baseball, basketball out of our NCAA teams. So this is a very sports-oriented state, and so that shutting it down and then talking about it and having a lot of advertising and then letting it back up again when we went online, there was a lot of people interested in betting on sports.
I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of my questions. I mean, what should people know about placing a bet in Michigan? I mean, for example, I'm going to use New Jersey as an example because I'm sitting right here. In New Jersey, we can't place a bet on a college or university that is located within our state. And not only that, we can't place a bet on any collegiate activity that occurs in our state. When it comes to college activity and the NCAA, does Michigan have any rules like that for their sports betting industry?
Well, we do have rules that indicate that anybody with an interest or going to affect the outcome of the game, like a player, an NCAA player, cannot place a bet. But the restrictions as far as betting on in-state teams was talked about in the legislation, but it did not make it to the end. So, Michigan State, I think that the thought process was that among the people that were wanting this legislation to pass, they didn't want to lose out on those bets. Now, that being said, it's very new here, right? We've been operating just since January 22nd. So we've done some education things with the NCAA and with our, I think we have 15 Division I colleges here to let them know what's on the horizon, what's coming, and what our rules allow and don't allow. They also have their own rules, right? NCAA rules. But we haven't had any issues yet, but we monitor that all the time.
Now, when it comes to online sports books, do you expect to have many more going live in the coming years?
This is a limited group.
Okay.
The 12 tribes and the 3 commercials are going to be able to operate retail and online sports books. We regulate the retail and the commercial, and we regulate all the online activity, whether it's tribal or commercial. However, that's going to be the limit. So we have 3 tribes that are still working on some technical requirements to offer their, online sports betting. And once they go live, we'll have 15 operators and probably 15 platforms, and that'll be it.
I'm curious, when drafting the rules and regulations, how closely did Michigan look at other states and how they formulated their gaming rules? I mean, for example, did you look at Nevada or New Jersey and say, we really like this aspect of their rules, or however, I don't like the way Nevada did this or New Jersey did that? I mean, how much of a guide and blueprint were the other states' regulations in formulating what Michigan wanted to accomplish with their gambling rules?
Oh, it was very much. We looked at. We stole what we could, the good stuff from all the states. Right? They did that when they passed the Michigan Gaming Control and Regulatory Act, and these 2 new statutes were pretty broadly written. So we had to do a lot of things with rules, right? So we had a lot of discretion to do that. So we leaned heavily on Indiana's, sports betting rules, and we certainly leaned heavily on Pennsylvania and New Jersey. And I do meet periodically, at least before COVID, we do it now virtually, with the gaming director in New Jersey, Dave Rebuck, and Kevin O'Toole out of Pennsylvania. And there was, I watched very closely how they operated, and we modeled our rules very similarly to those states because it worked, right? They've been operating for a period of time. New Jersey, is the king here as far as online sports betting. And so we did a lot of the modeling after their rules.
Speaking of Pennsylvania and New Jersey, I know Michigan has joined a small group of states that have allowed online poker to operate in the state. I'm curious. It seems like more states are willing to allow online sports betting and not online poker or casinos. What went into the thought process in allowing online poker and online casinos within the state? I mean, were there any concerns that needed to be addressed to allow these gaming operators to go live in Michigan?
Well, certainly. The first thing was the operators and the platform providers, and by that I mean the casinos who hold the license and the people they contract with, or the platform providers. Most of all of ours, those platforms, were already licensed in New Jersey or Nevada or Pennsylvania. So when we modeled our rules after, our rules are similar to those states, there was a good working relationship with those rules already. So that made things go a little bit quicker from our end. There was acceptance of the rules because they've seen them before and worked under them. That being said, from the legislature's standpoint, we thought that probably sports betting would pass first because there was a concern that there'd be a negative effect on our online lottery. Michigan has a very successful lottery and online lottery, and there was concern about competition and stealing each other's market share. So far, that hasn't really shown itself, if there's an effect on it. If it is an effect, it's something that we can't see or measure at this point, but that's something that really held up other states, and it really slowed our state down to take another look. When this thing first went through the legislature in 2018, it was vetoed by the governor at that time because of the concern of lottery. Mm-hmm. So there was several modifications made. There was some hold harmless things done for the city of Detroit and some direct benefit tax that goes directly to them for the commercials because people didn't want to rob from the existing physical plant casinos, right? Didn't want to affect revenue there, and they certainly didn't want to, affect revenue with the lottery because the state makes all the profit on lottery offerings. So that was an issue, and that's probably what other states are wrestling with.
I mentioned online poker, and that was the big news in all the poker periodicals I read. Right now, who are the operators that have gone live in the state?
We only have 2 right now that are live. Poker Stars is one of them, working with the Bay Mills tribe, and BetMGM doing poker. We are, though, in discussions with your state, New Jersey. Pennsylvania hasn't gotten the okay to enter into interstate compacts yet. And I believe the other state is Delaware for liquidity pooling for tournaments and things like that. So we do have authorization and a law to do that. We have to come up with some rules and and then look at compact agreements with these other states, much like they do with Powerball and all other things. We have to make sure we have some things in place to allow it to occur. So that's ongoing right now. So I do think that the state's going to enter into liquidity agreements with neighboring states, especially New Jersey. I think we've got 10 million people, and you guys are pretty close there in New Jersey for population, and that's what they need to make these things thrive.
Now, I know Michigan's online poker industry is very young, but it's like I said, it's making huge waves in the poker community with the games and the tournaments being offered in your state. What is the revenue projections with regard to online poker in Michigan? Do you think it'll be equivalent like New Jersey and like Pennsylvania?
I don't know. We've been taking this in steps. We bit off a lot to get 10 operators up and going over the last 50 days or so. The focus has really been on the online gaming side, and we only have 2 operators that are offering a poker. I didn't have a chance to even see the revenue and what it's going to generate, because one just went live last week, right?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
So although the PokerStars one seems to generate a lot of interest on the revenue side, we haven't seen and been able to analyze that. If I ever came back to talk to you again 6 months from now, I have a much better view of what could occur there. Obviously, as you know, the big moneymaker is the online casino style games, and that's really where the focus is and where everybody's asking about the revenue.
What will the online sports betting and the online poker and the online casinos mean for Michigan gambling industry in the long run? How much is the Michigan gambling industry dependent on the online component in the state going forward?
Well, COVID changed the world, right? Yeah. And our tribes and our casinos suffered quite a bit. They're down. Oh my gosh, they're only at 60% of revenue from the year previous, and our 3 commercial casinos, did $1.3 billion in revenue. So they take a big hit, and the travel casinos also. So everybody's excited that this is going to add new revenue, and I think it's going to. And if you look at New Jersey's model, which we studied very closely when they went to online sports betting and then online gaming, there was a concern of cannibalization, right? That the online format would cannibalize the people going out to the casinos. And we haven't seen that. Even though our casinos are down quite a bit, they were shut down. They're still doing 70% of revenue. So the retail sites are still generating quite a bit of revenue, considering they're at 30% capacity, right? So I also think that in the online world, there's so much marketing that can occur. And I think the tribes and the commercials are looking forward to be able to draw people back into their casinos with comps and promotions and things like that they're able to offer. So, the future, I can't see the future, but I do think that there's going to be a net positive effect, because remember, as in New Jersey, we've identified a whole new demographic. In the casinos in Detroit and in the travel casinos, it's generally an older crowd of people.
Sure.
And people that aren't as adept on their phones and with, social media and things like that. Whereas this demographic that we're touching with sports betting and then, again, online gaming is that 30 to 54-year-old person that carries his gambling device with him everywhere he goes in the way of his phone. So there's an expansion on that side that probably we don't see a net effect of lowering it, lowering the activity on the other side, just because new people are being attracted.
You mentioned it, and I want to hit on that as well. Michigan not only has the online sports betting and the online poker, but you have the online casino games, which not a lot of states have that. Who are the online operators for the online casinos right now, and do you expect more coming online in the coming months?
Yeah, so for sure be 3 more coming online in the next few months. We're working with those people now on their, on all the idiosyncrasies of getting their apps launched and the requirements that we have. So it'll be a total of 15. Now, in Michigan, you could have 2 skins for each operator. So each casino operator can have 2 skins. And what has occurred and what we've seen happen is they stuck with 1 skin. So as DraftKings, coming into this market as a sports book and sports betting provider, became a casino. And so they also offer online games. They partnered with other people casino companies that offer online games. And so that same app is the portal. So that's what's happened across Michigan. Everybody's stuck with one skin, and the sports betting is getting all the promotions and the advertising, but you have the ability on that same platform to play casino-style games.
You know, I speak to a lot of gaming officials and executives around the country, and I know that a major part of the gambling industry is promoting responsible gambling. I know. What is Michigan doing with regard to problem gambling, and what are some of the programs that people can reach out to if they feel they have a problem with gambling?
Well, in Michigan, there's a certain amount of money out of each of our statutes that goes to our Department of Community Mental Health for things like our gambling hotline, our problem gambling hotline, for programs, treatment, things of that nature. We also offer, as a regulatory agency, we offer a disassociated persons list for not only for the retail casinos, the commercial casinos, where people can sign up and have themselves their eligibility to enter those casinos, revoked. They sign up to be disassociated. New Jersey has a very similar law. Each platform app, we required several things. They had to have timers on it, and they had to be able to communicate with their player, how long they've been online, how much they've wagered, and they have to have the ability. People have to have the ability to limit those wagers and also limit the time. In other words, only so much in a 24-hour period, and so on and so forth. And those apps have to allow people to take a cooling off period or ban themselves from the app. That's individually on the apps. We also have the ability, as a gaming agency, people can come in, and we've had a couple already do that, come to us, and we can remove them from all the apps. In other words, even though they have access, we take away their access. We eliminate, just like we would in a casino. We bar them from entry into the platform to gamble. Now, that's what we're doing on our front end to help them. But Department of Community Mental Health really has the programs and the education programs outstanding to help with problem gambling. And that's one of the big issues that we're probably most concerned with. When you blast a state the size of ours with all this advertising and promotions and for sports betting, and the same app on sports betting can get you over to play slots or roulette or blackjack. People are being inundated with this. So our concern has always been this could lend itself to more issues of problem gambling. And so we're very watchful. We also have our lottery division, which is regulated by the lottery commissioners, also Department of Treasury. They have a very robust program. We attend the meetings of the council, so we're always cognizant of it, and we're trying to do what we can, but we're really kind of monitoring the information at this point.
As you said, this has been one of the most challenging years for the gambling industry because of the pandemic and how it affected the gambling industry. Right now, how is the Michigan gaming industry, and do you see a light at the end of the tunnel? Do you feel that there is going to be a shorter than longer recovery time for the gambling business in your state? For 2021, what will the Michigan gambling scene look like?
Oh, I think we're going to exceed the revenue projections for online gaming. We're already watching, what's happening here just at launch, and albeit we've had the Super Bowl and we're in the middle of March Madness on the sports betting side, but people can use the same app for both. Surprisingly, our lottery is up. Not only the ticket sales and the online activity is up quite a bit. So that's sort of indicated to us that there's still an appetite for gambling. The casinos haven't even hit full stride. They're not open 100%. When they do, I think we're going to have a banner year. And I really think that online gaming is going to inject into the gambling industry in Michigan much needed revenue, opportunity, excitement. That the whole COVID thing really took the wind out of the gambling industry in the state. And our neighboring states are all moving in the same direction, right? Illinois, Indiana has sports betting. Looks like they're going to be doing some kind of online gaming. So we won't have that across the border thing going on like you guys had with New Jersey. So we're going to have this whole thing develop and be in and of itself its own market. So I think it's going to be a great year coming up for gaming in Michigan.
Do you think the pandemic accelerated the growth of online gaming in Michigan, or was this an aspect of gaming that would have occurred at the same time, even if there was no pandemic to contend with?
Well, these bills have been moving in through the state legislature before the pandemic, and they were actually signed into law before the pandemic. What occurred and what happened is everybody realized, oh my gosh, hey, we're so glad that these things passed, especially the R15 licensees. But then it became, when can we go live, right? So there was a lot of pressure put on us to try and get a rule set done, and everything we do in gambling regulation has to do with the rules we set. I mean, the legislature allows it, the law allows it, but there's a whole host of things, technical requirements, things we have to do to make sure that we, maintain the integrity of this gaming. And so that's what got accelerated. And also our stakeholders, the tribes, the commercial casinos, the multiple platform providers, the players in this that we had to license, I think were very cooperative. They looked at this, they said, oh, you're using New Jersey's, in this area you're using Nevada's or Pennsylvania's rules. We got it. We don't want to slow the process down. Let's get this done. And so, we passed the rule set and went live as fast as we possibly could and I think that's where it got accelerated. The thought process from the state was looking forward, right, when they passed legislation, but no one anticipated a pandemic, and certainly neither did we. But the pandemic, I think, brought together this level of cooperation, like let's make this happen, and let's make it good for the state of Michigan.
Richard, we're running out of time, but if people are interested in finding out more about Michigan gaming, do you have a website at the Michigan Gaming Control Board that people can go and check out?
Yeah, we have michigan.gov, MGCB, and you can look at all of our who's offering, all the legal operators that are offering gambling, what we have in place for problem gambling, and the whole, much like New Jersey's website, we have all of our information there, including revenue and the revenue breakdown and where the taxes go.
Richard Kalm, Executive Director of the Michigan Gaming Control Board. Thanks so much for coming on and telling us all about the great state of Michigan. It's an important gaming market, and it seems like it's growing at an incredible rate, and I look forward to hearing more about it in the future. Please come back on and keep us updated.
I certainly will, and thank you for the time you gave us to promote Michigan gambling.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. We'll get back to the show in a few moments, but I just wanted to take some time and tell everyone about Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips at beangenius.com. Here's how it works. Head on over to beangenius.com and take their palate profiler test to find out what coffee best fits your taste. Then select from a variety of subscription plans. Every subscription comes with free shipping, and delivery can even be scheduled for once or twice each month. And based upon your review of each coffee blend you try, Bean Genius actually learns your individual taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for you. And now you can get 10% off your Bean Genius subscription when you use our promo code PIKE at checkout. Bean Genius offers a variety of subscription plans to suit any coffee lover's needs. Subscribe with Bean Genius today and start enjoying some of the best tasting coffee around. And save 10% off your coffee plan with promo code PIKE. And By the Numbers is sponsored by Play Sugar House Online Casino and Sportsbook in New Jersey. Sign up at playsugarhouse.com/pike and get a first deposit match of up to $250. Enjoy the casino experience online. Play Sugar House offers over 400 games online, slots, table games, hey, even bingo. It's like being in a casino without leaving your home. That's playsugarhouse.com/Pike to get your first deposit match of up to $250 today. Must be 21 years or older and physically present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 800gambler.org.
Okay, welcome to another edition of the Turnpike Sports By the Numbers segment, where I'm going to toss out a whole bunch of different numbers at Dave and let him try and guess what they are. Follow along at home and try and guess what these are going to be, too. They're usually pretty straightforward, I think. But,
really? Okay.
But we have.
You're not doing the guessing.
Well, we're going to have 3 or 4 numbers this time, and like I said, I'll throw out the number. You try and guess what they are, and once we settle on what the number is, we let the number tell the story. First number, 5,000.
5,000. Is it the number of players somewhere at a tournament or a thing like that?
It is the amount in U.S. dollars Croatian tennis player Aleksandra Olenjokov sold a part of her right arm.
Part of her right arm. What the hell does that mean?
She sold she sold exclusive lifetime ownership of part of her right arm for what amounted to about $5,000 for sponsorship.
Lifetime for only $5,000 on her arm? That's kind of a low number, isn't it?
It's actually kind of an interesting number because it was done in non-fungible tokens, which means the value could change.
Oh, okay. So
NFT.
Say that one more time.
NFT, non-fungible token.
Okay, which means the deal... Cryptocurrency. So the deal was for 5,000, I don't want to call it dollars, but 5,000 units. Let's call it units.
No, it was $5,000.
Okay, but so for a lifetime... I guess it's a sticker kind of thing.
No, it's tattoo.
She's getting a tattoo for $5,000?
She's allowed either a permanent tattoo or a temporary tattoo.
Well, I'd go for the temporary tattoo.
It's the space on her right arm between her elbow and shoulder, on the inside of the arm, a 6-inch by 3-inch patch of skin.
All right. Okay. If it's only for $5,000, she got lowballed. But if it's $5,000 in this cryptocurrency, which could change the amount, she could get more than $5,000, right?
At some point, yes, depending on how this token changes in value. But this was on auction for 6 days on the marketplace OpenSea, which is a cryptocurrency marketplace. The person who bought it, and it uses only Ethereum blockchain as the cryptocurrency. Yes, we're going way into the woods here.
All right, whatever.
It's similar to Bitcoin, so do it that way. The person who bought it for 3 Ether, which is roughly about $5,400.
What do you mean the person who bought it?
It was an auction.
It was an auction
for her skin, for her arm.
Okay.
It's not her arm. Placement on her arm.
Okay.
It sounds cooler if you say she sold her arm.
But...
Yeah. But no, it was sold for 3 Ether,
I would just
$5,400.
I would just think a lifetime placement on her arm, whether it be, well, first off, if it's a tattoo and if it's permanent, it should be a lot more than $5,000. But I'm just thinking, but it looks like it's $5,000 right now, but it has the ability to go up in value.
Right, especially if she takes a share of whatever advertising comes in.
Okay.
But there are limits. She will not accept art or messaging that includes extremism or gambling or betting-related material.
Well, she's cutting out a lot of
Well,
things
she's only
there.
in Croatia.
Okay.
So I would think if you were a higher-ranked tennis player, she's 30th in the ITF, International Tennis Federation World Tour, and she's 658th in the Women's Tennis Association.
So it's still up in the air if it's a tattoo or
it could be either.
temporary.
It could be either.
So if I was her, I'd do the temporary. Keep your options open.
Or actually see if you can find a way to rotate them during a match.
Yeah.
Get different ads going.
Well, can she almost green screen it on her arms?
She probably could. There's probably a lot of things she could do.
Have a rotating thing?
First of all, I can't believe she even thought of it. But from what I was looking at, reading, doing the research on this, this was common in boxing for a little while too, because people were getting temporary tattoos for the fights.
All right. Okay. So there's
precedent.
There's precedent. Okay.
Okay. Next number, 99.
I have no idea. 99.
That's the cost in cents to stream snippets of NHL games and PGA golf on a new startup called Buzzer. 99 cents. For a little live look-in.
Okay. It's a live look-in.
Live look-in.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. Okay.
They actually were able to secure the rights from the NHL and the PGA Tour to show little snippets of live action during tournaments and games. The person downloads the app. If they want to watch the snippet, they have to pay 99 cents to watch it.
It's 99 cents per snippet?
Per snippet.
Okay. Are they actually calling it a snippet?
Well,
or is there some kind of technical term for it? We're using snippet.
They'll probably come out with the name when they actually launch in June.
Okay.
So, I
think it's a good idea. I like that.
What happens is they pay the 99 cents to watch the snippet. If they want to watch more of that game, there's a link where they have to go to another streaming service to buy the stream.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of a ladder climb if you want to watch the game.
All right.
But you do get to see some highlights on your smartphone, on your computer, your tablet. And it's one of those things where it sounds kind of familiar, and it should be, because Twitter was doing this for a while. And this company is started by the former director of content at Twitter. So he's had the experience to make something like this.
Pretty good idea.
Again, it's actually, you're going to be starting to see a lot more of these services because, again, a lot of the sportsbook apps show highlights.
Sure.
So apps like this are going to come out too. And, I think you might start seeing some sports betting tie-ins with some of these snippets, too. You never know. Next number, 10 million.
I should be disqualified for this one because I know. I think I read it in the paper somewhere. It was the deal with the Miami Marlins Stadium. Does this have something to do with
That's exactly it. That's the value per year that the Miami Marlins will get from their new naming rights deal, their first naming rights deal, with Lone Depot.
Okay.
They will now be playing in Lone Depot Park this season. It's the first naming rights deal for this stadium, which was built for $634 million.
Okay.
So it's a beautiful venue that they play in, and they've never gotten a naming rights sponsor until this year. It's been up for almost 10 years now, 2012.
I'm shocked. Miami is a extremely large market, a media market, and I'm surprised it gone this long without being named.
Well, this is the
Dolphins playing Hard Rock.
Yeah.
So,
not the casino.
I know.
The restaurant.
Not the restaurant.
Yes.
But no, they have naming rights, and it was always naming. It was first, before that, I guess it was Joe Robbie.
Well, I guess it was Joe Robbie. No, it was there was something else too.
Yeah, there was between Joe Robbie and
like the Orange Bowl or some Minute Maid.
I think maybe it was Minute Maid. Maybe there was something between that. But no, I'm surprised that the Miami Marlins went this long without a naming rights deal.
Well, surprisingly, there are still 8 teams out there that do not have naming rights on their venues.
Huh. Okay.
You want to take a guess at a couple of them? You were watching 2 of them, or one of them yesterday.
I went to school, and you went to school somewhere very close to his Fenway Park.
Well, you were also just watching one yesterday.
Well, Yankee Stadium.
Well,
Dodgers, I suppose.
Dodger Stadium.
The Dodgers.
Stay in California.
Oh, stay in California. No, San Diego's Petco. Angels? Yeah, I was going to say Angels. Okay.
Wrigley Field still does not have a naming sponsor.
Well, isn't it Wrigley?
Well,
see, I think of Wrigley. It's not Chicago.
You think
it's
of
not
the
Cubs Field.
Yeah,
it's Wrigley Field.
But it's the guy's name.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Oriole Park at Camden Yards.
See, I never call it Oriole Park.
I never
call it Camden Yards.
Well, Camden Yards is the location. So Nationals Park, Kauffman Stadium. So there's still 8 out there that can still benefit from a naming rights deal. I didn't know there were that many, to be honest with you, but now that you sit and think about it, it became kind of part of the vernacular. And last but not least, $1 billion.
$1 billion.
And we'll hit this one real quick because it's a future number. It's not really it's not really a number right now.
Okay. See, that's why I don't know. It's in the future.
Yes. Well, I'm prognosticating here. New research from global analytics company Nielsen Sports has found that 1 billion people will be interested and watch Formula One racing by April 2022. A year from now.
What did they send out a questionnaire, or how would they figure that out?
They're extrapolating from past.
All right.
As popularity has grown. Let's see. They had interest in the series last year grew by 73 million, or 20% of its previous viewership, mostly aided by the eSports series that they were doing during the pandemic.
Okay.
And they're anticipating it to continue to grow. And also, not only the eSports series that they were doing, but the Netflix series called Drive to Survive. It was a docuseries based on Formula One.
I guess it could drum up interest. I mean, it'd be interesting to see how accurate those things are. But, if you're basing it on a Netflix docuseries,
well,
okay.
And also
one of many things, I guess, but,
And also, according to the study, there's a whole slew of young drivers coming in that use Twitch while they're racing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so they have Twitch channels, while during the races they twitched. I don't know what.
How do you conjugate Twitch?
I don't know. I don't even know if that's possible
they were
without
twitching?
hurting yourself. So that's it for this week's By the Number segment.
All right, stick around because when we come back, the book report where we talk about what's going on, the sports books across the country, is coming up next. So stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here.
Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more.
Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Attention seniors with Medicare. This is an important announcement. Did you know you may qualify for a monthly Social Security rebate? Did you know you may qualify for a $0 monthly premium? That's right. You may qualify to get $135 added back to your Social Security check each month. Just call the Medicare benefits line to get your options. It's a free call. You may also qualify for $0 premiums, dental coverage, vision coverage, hearing coverage, and prescription drug coverage. With this type of plan, you don't need Medicare supplement insurance. Call now because you deserve to get the most from your Medicare benefits, including a rebate to your Social Security check each month. Agents are standing by with free information regarding Medicare benefits. It's a free call with no obligation, but it could mean big savings for you. Call the Medicare benefits line now to see if you're eligible for a Social Security rebate.
Call 800-574-6770. 800-574-6770.
Now that we're home more than ever, we need to feel safe. Call it a sign of the times or the world we now live in. What do you want to keep safe? The people in your life? What do you want to protect? Your possessions, the things that belong to you, the things that you've worked hard for. Wouldn't it be nice to have tested, trusted 24/7 protection? Peace of mind, real protection that's always there for you and your whole family? Well, now you can with one of our state-of-the-art home security systems. Everyone thinks their home is safe until the unexpected happens. Help protect your home and loved ones today with the affordable next generation in home security. To help keep your family and property safe, call 1-800-520-4068 now. Representatives are standing by to assist you. That's 1-800-250-4068. 1-800-520-4068.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. If your employer doesn't supply health care coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. To get the coverage you need, call the number on the screen now.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casinos now, your favorite sports book available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E, and you get a risk-free bet up to $300 and 20 bonus dollars at BorgataCasino.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Okay, in this week's book report, we've got a bunch of state numbers reporting their February betting revenues and handles.
Seems like a lot of them came in this week.
Well, they always come in this week. Some report them like the second week in the month. Some report them the third week of the following month, that sort of thing. So, but we've got a bunch of them.
They seem like a little early this month.
We got about 4 of them here. And also we have a national numbers top 10 for betting markets. And also we have a record.
Ooh,
very unusual record. Very unusual record.
Okay.
Not a handle or a revenue record, by the way.
Oh, all right.
Let me give you that one. Plus, we have launches and deals. We have a couple deals to talk about. We have one big deal, and quite honestly, it involves the NFL. I think everyone knows what we're going to be talking about.
NFL, yeah.
There's no sense in hiding that one, but or teasing it out. But the more I thought about, I don't think it's as big a deal as a lot of people are saying it is right now.
Well, it's an information data deal.
Yeah.
You know, they're not really
crazy
popular, but, you know, they're necessary for sports betting.
That's
and
what I
fantasy
think
sports.
it more is. It's more of an infrastructure necessity deal than anything else. But let's start off with some numbers. Colorado reported their February numbers. They had a handle of $266.55 million. Taxes collected in February was $332,000. Mobile betting still was the main driver there, 97% of the total handle for the state.
Okay.
Let's see. The main thing was their top sports. They finally got rid of table tennis in the top 5.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
They were sixth.
They were sixth. You know, like the last couple of months, wasn't it? 4th?
They were 3rd at one point, 4th at another.
They love their table tennis in Colorado.
But what we've got here is top sport was professional basketball with $95 million in handle. NCAA basketball was second with $39 million. Pro football, American pro football, not soccer, but American pro football, $24 million.
And this was February. So
this is all February.
The only American pro football was the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ice hockey was the 4th spot with $13 million. Tennis was 5th with $9 million. And here, table tennis was 6th with just under $7 million in handle.
Yeah, but didn't it beat some bigger sports though?
Soccer, golf, and MMA.
Wow.
So table tennis
I'm very surprised it beat golf and MMA. Soccer, maybe I get it. All right, it is not as popular as overseas, but golf and MMA, maybe just because it was February and there wasn't a lot of golf being played. But wow, I'm very surprised it beat golf and MMA.
Well, I'm just surprised table tennis is still hanging around as much as
we keep talking about it. We keep talking about it.
But again, it's still over a $5 million handle almost every month now, especially in Colorado. You know, it's just one of those sports I just haven't been able to get into, but they seem to have found a market for it in Colorado.
Hey,
even Oregon has a big table tennis segment too.
Hey, if you enjoy watching it and you're making money betting on it, hey, go for it.
I wonder how many people actually watch it after they bet on it, though.
I tried to.
Is there in-play betting for ping pong? I don't know how you can do that.
One. I don't know anything about that one.
Well, we'll find out at some point. Tennessee reported their February sports betting numbers. They had a handle of $176.3 million. That's down 16% from $211 million in January. That's their smallest handle since they launched in November.
Oh, okay.
$13 million in revenue, down 40% from $21.2 million in January. $2.6 million in state taxes. They had a Super Bowl handle of $15.5 million, and $2.9 million in revenue for Tennessee sportsbooks. Hold was 7.3%. Now, the only reason I brought the 7.3% hold.
Yeah, don't they have a legal 10% hold?
They have a legislatively mandated 10% hold. Sportsbooks don't hit that, they get fined.
So what will Tennessee do? Do they have to wait another month to see if they make it up during next month?
They're given a chance to make up the difference.
All right.
If not, they're fined.
Okay.
Virginia reported their first full month of sports betting numbers. People remember they only had 11 days in January of operation.
Sure.
Virginians wager $265.778 million. That's their handle. The hold was 4.6%. So
wow.
Kind of a low hold for the sports books.
A lot of smart bettors in Virginia.
Let's see. Operators reported. This is interesting. I always love this, especially this is technically their first month in operation.
Sure. They had 10 days in January?
Yeah.
What did you say? 11 days?
11 days. 11 days.
11 days?
You know, the first month is always promo heavy.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, you get free bets and you this money back and bet in this thing and we'll give you money here.
They had a gross gaming revenue in the state of $12.2 million. Operators reported $13.2 million in bonuses and free play incentives.
Yep.
So you take that out.
Yep.
You do some other adjustments for some money
how much
coming
it cost
in and out.
them? How much it cost
The
them?
adjusted revenue was negative, I should say, negative $3.2 million.
So they lost $3.2 million in sports betting.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, again, first month, promo heavy. You got to get the market going.
You pay for the marketing. That's your bill for marketing.
Yeah. And state taxes was $300,000 for the first full month. Not bad. Rhode Island, state handle of $34.1 million in February, down 14% from January. Handle of $17.8 on mobile sports betting compared to $16.2 on retail. So that was almost a 50-50 split in Rhode Island for sports betting. The one thing they had almost a 60% drop from January in revenue. Revenue reported $1.5 million.
Well, there was only one football game
that
Tom Brady was playing in, and when you're a sports bettor in New England, guess where you put your money on football?
Yeah, I guess so, but
it worked. Hey, it worked out for you this year.
Yeah, I think March is going to be a big month for everybody anyway.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, and here's the record.
Oh, okay. Pennsylvania has a record. All right.
Record.
We should have like a drum roll sound too.
I don't know how this would acquire for a record song, but record $16.6 million in credits issued in February by sportsbook operators.
I wasn't even thinking like that, but
that's why I said it wasn't a handle, it wasn't a revenue.
That was an interesting record.
It's a different sort of record. I don't know if it's a good one, but
hey, all right.
You know, it was a record for the state. It was the most ever given out in terms of promo credits. DraftKings has reported total $6.8 million in credits since July, for an average of more than $2 million monthly, because they had the least in terms of offering credits. FanDuel reported the most, $3 million in credits each month since the sport started back up in July. So it's kind of an interesting little record to have there. I don't know if it's a good record, but it's a record. Let's see. Legislation. Let's move over to there. Kind of an interesting situation going on in Maryland with some of their legislation. The Maryland Stadium Authority is now advocating to have the Orioles and Ravens Stadium have a different way of doing the sports betting there. Right now, the law is set up that these two teams can only have sports betting on game days.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. The Maryland Stadium Authority wants them operating year-round.
Well, yeah. Why would you...
well, it's just... I'm just saying this is what they want to talk about.
That doesn't even make sense.
It actually kind of makes sense in terms of... when you first draft it out, it sounds cool.
If you want to make money in sports betting, don't have days off.
Well, again, it's a matter of, do you want the competition? Because Maryland is making competition among minority and small business owners, as well as the major sportsbooks coming in. And I think when they drafted this, maybe the thinking was, why add more competition to small business owners and minority business owners for sports betting operations?
It still doesn't make sense.
It makes sense in a certain way, but again,
right.
I kind of want to see
don't have days off in sports betting.
Well, again, it's a matter if you're going to the stadium. If you're not going to the stadium, that's why I think a lot of the thinking was if the Orioles aren't playing there, are people going to go to the stadium?
Let me ask you then. But okay, you brought up it. How about if the Orioles are playing away games?
That's what I just said.
I mean, I don't think
stadiums are open when they're not there, are they?
I mean, but can you bet on them if they're playing away games?
Yeah, but you just have to use one of the other sports books.
Oh, okay.
They're not shutting down the industry. They're shutting down the stadium.
I understand that, but why? I mean,
they're not going to shut down the stadium sports books during the season.
Why cut these off? That doesn't make sense.
Because no one goes to the stadium. They don't. I guess they don't want to open the stadium.
Okay, all right. I guess they don't want to open the stadium, but
But now, if they want to have them year round, they got to open the stadium.
But these aren't. Well,
they're inside the parks.
But they're inside the. Are they outside?
Just like DC. I mean, you know how DC has the William Hill.
Yeah, but they're not completely in the stadium.
You have to go inside though, the arenas.
But you don't have to go all the way inside the arena.
You really want to hire security just for sports bettors?
Okay, all right.
I mean, I can understand that to a certain extent.
With the money you're bringing in, you can hire all the security you want.
Then wait till you bring in the money.
All
then
right.
you could expand it. Ohio may be inching closer to getting sports betting. They're talking about end of April having a bill finally introduced in that state. I don't know what's taken them so long, but wow. They also were the guys that wanted to have grocery stores doing sports betting too.
Okay.
So, whenever they introduce it, it'll be a welcome sight. Same thing.
Well, you go from one extreme to the other. One state wants grocery stores to do it, and the other state, well, if they're not in the stadium, let's not have betting at the stadium.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
It's one realm to another realm.
Well, yeah, also have Arizona, who had a typo in their sports betting bill.
Oh, I love typos. What's that?
They actually had a sports betting bill phrasing in terms of the amount of people that could attend an event at an auditorium that so that the auditorium can get sports betting licenses. The bill was supposed to read 150,000 attendees.
Okay.
It came out as 150.
Okay.
So that opened up the thinking that a car show would be able to get a license for sports betting. They don't want that.
Okay.
So they had to do a strike-through amendment to the law, and it's pushed back now. So whether or not it's going to go through or not, we'll see. But there was a typo there that, is going to cause a little bit more of a delay for sports betting in Arizona. Wyoming, the bill for sports betting is heading to the governor's desk for signature. So they may be closer than Arizona right now.
So as we speak, he could be signing it.
As this show is released, he might be. I don't know. We'll see. But that's legislation. Deals, we had a bunch of deals here.
Absolutely.
Bally's has announced that they're going to be buying GameSys, which is another acquisition by Bally's, which is an incredible move by them. That's another one of those things where it just strengthens their gaming and sports betting vertical in the country.
Speaking of Bally's, I was watching baseball and I saw the Bally's sports channels. When between the, you go innings and they have the Chiron flipping it over to another camera angle, it had Bally's Sports on it. So I made note of that.
Well, Bally's launched Bally's Sports Arizona on March 31st. They'll be launching other ones little by little, but right now Bally's Sports Arizona is the only one, as we're taping this, is the only one up and running.
Okay, yeah, well, it was the Arizona Diamondbacks.
There you go.
Diamondbacks.
Betway formalized partnerships with 6 NBA and NHL teams. They have deals now with the Brooklyn Nets, the Chicago Bulls, Cleveland Cavaliers, LA Clippers, Golden State Warriors in the NBA. NHL, they've got the Islanders, the Los Angeles Kings, and they are doing deals with a whole bunch of other places, and they'll be announced as they go along. But the interesting part of the deal is they made a deal with a team that has nowhere near any kind of legislation for sports betting, which is Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
And we just talked about Ohio inching closer and closer, but the Cavs already have a sports betting deal in place.
Well, I got to tell you, I saw the Betway. I was checking out the Islanders game, the NHL Islanders game, and I was wondering what the hell Betway was. So
it's another sports book.
Betway.
It's a UK sports book, really.
UK sports book.
Yeah.
Huh?
BetMGM did a deal with Detroit Tigers to be their official gaming partner. BetMGM also did a huge deal with Odyssey, I should say. I want to say Audacity.
Odyssey, yeah.
Odyssey.
Well, they were
formerly Entercom Communications, the radio network. So they are now a preferred sports betting partner of Odyssey. They're going to be, integrated content across Odyssey's broadcast sports stations. They're going to be doing some talent combinations between BetQL network that Odyssey had already bought and BetMGM. It's going to be a lot of the BetQL audio network, which is a betting network, digital betting network through Odyssey. They're going to be starting to incorporate a lot more BetMGM stuff. So
I've been hearing
that was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, no, I listened to what was radio.com, which is now Odyssey. So I've been hearing a lot of they're doing a lot of short features from BetQL and BetMGM.
Well,
so,
that's all part of all this
good
stuff.
stuff.
So. But BetQL was an app that Entercom bought last year, and they turned the BetQL audio network, their own sports network, to BetQL network. It's a digital network. They have a bunch of different podcasts and shows there.
Great.
So BetMGM has that. Now, the big deal that happened, and again, like I said, when I first saw it, the fact that it was the NFL doing this deal with Genius Sports for a sports betting data. It's an exclusive sports betting data deal with Genius Sports. Genius Sports will be providing data and odds to sports books and networks around the world now for NFL games.
Great.
I just think it's a lot of people have been expecting a big NFL deal coming. I don't think this is it yet.
Well, it certainly lays the groundwork. This is the foundation of a pretty big deal, I would think the NFL would have to make in sports betting, just like any league. Sports betting has just become too big of a thing in the sports world, and I think the professional leagues have to get involved with it.
I think the big angle of this is Genius Sports is also going to be the gateway for advertising, too. They're going to be handling a lot of the sports betting advertising.
Great.
For the league. I don't know if this is more UK or U.S. because Genius Sports is a big UK outfit, more so than the United States. A lot of people are more familiar with Genius Sports overseas than they are here, but they are one of the best in the business for data. And it was kind of interesting because now the NFL owns ownership stakes in two of the integrity and data firms out there, Sport Radar and also Genius Sports now. So they are really getting into the sports betting in a different sort of way, more ownership, more integrity. And again, I think this was the groundwork deal for further deals coming down the road here. I would think that the next step would be the deal with Caesars. I mean, Caesars is already a partner with the NFL for gaming. Remember, we were seeing walking around Atlantic City, we were seeing signs for the Caesars NFL partnership. They had signs everywhere. I'm anticipating Caesars might be the first sportsbook partner.
Well, we'll see.
It's going to be fun to watch this. But again, great deal, big deal, earth-shattering deal. I think that's coming, especially with the NFL.
Well, that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.